See a leftist political commentator get absolutely destroyed for his goober left-wing liberal takes by Patrick Bet David. Guys, this is a good one and you're gonna like it, all right? Just a quick little background here. This is David Pakman, or is it David Pinkman? I don't know, I always forget his name. But anyways, he's a left-wing commentator and apparently an intellectual according to, well, just his demeanor. You'll see what I mean. He really thinks he's a smart guy. But hey, you know what? That makes for more entertaining debate. So we're all here for it. So we're gonna get right into it, guys. But first, you can do me a huge favor and like our video, share it around. If you are new, subscribe to the Resist the Mainstream YouTube channel. Why? Because guys, we can keep bringing you great content like this if you hit that subscribe button. So thank you so much and we appreciate it. As always, guys, this is the Resist the Mainstream YouTube channel and I'm your host, Darian. Let's get into it.
I cannot even tell you how many people I knew Republicans who were voting for Obama in the insurance industry just because, like, listen, man, first time. This guy talks like MLK. You know, he sounds reasonable. I'm going to vote for the guy. There's a lot of people that came out with him. So somebody may say, well, you know, the reason why Obama got elected because he's got the three difficult things when he talks to the Democrat, but the fourth thing is he was black.
Okay.
And are you going to say what?
I would say, yeah, I'm sure that there's a portion of people who vote based on that.
So you're saying the DNA of a Trump MAGA voter who looks past policies. So you're saying on the three policies he didn't check off, the three policies here, the 3 points. You're saying that.
I'm saying he didn't build the wall, or I'm not.
No, so let me take a step back with you.
Please.
So I'm asking you a question, and I said, so tell me if you're saying he's going to get reelected without COVID. You're saying he would have gotten reelected.
I think he would have.
Perfect. And then you said, your words, you said something in the context of, you know, because I think the MAGA voter is not about policies. That's what you said.
A lot of that fourth group, yes, is not about overarching accomplishments. Or like, I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about, and maybe it'll help to distill it. I got a call at some point during the first term of Trump from a guy who said, I'm voting for this guy. This guy's just the best. And I said, oh, okay. What do you care about? How are you evaluating his performance to decide if you're going to vote for him in 2020? Like, I'm curious, how do you decide? He said, well, I care about the wall. So he's got to build that wall. And I said, perfect. If he doesn't build the wall, are you still going to vote for him? And he says, well, yeah, I'm not going to vote for a Democrat. So I said, oh, so it doesn't actually matter if he builds the wall.
The same with you as well, though. There's no way you're voting for a Republican either. Would you vote for a Republican?
Sure. Yeah. If I
have you ever voted for a Republican president?
No, I mean, I've only voted in a few elections.
Yeah,
but hold on a second.
But you're 40 years old. You're 1984, so
I'm 38, please.
84, 38 years old. 38 is still, you've had plenty of elections.
Let's back up for a second.
Speaking of policies, how about that Democrat policy on the economy? Really going well, ain't it? Who doesn't love endless inflation that just keeps going and going and going and going and going? All right, yeah, I'm going a little bit crazy, but that's okay, guys. You know why? Because I have decided to invest in gold and partner with Goldco, and I recommend you do the same. Guys, it's important to remember that as the value of the dollar has historically declined, the value of gold has increased, okay? I think it's a great hedge against inflation. I recommend you check it out too. What's more, guys, with Goldco, you can roll over your IRA and 401k penalty and tax free. Yes, you heard that right. Penalty and tax free. Okay, guys, so check it out, guys. You can go to rtmgold.com. You can type it in your web browser or go to the link in the description. Once again, guys, that's rtmgold.com. Check it out, guys. Goldco is a great company and they will give you the white glove treatment.
There's two questions. Would I and have I? I've only voted in a few presidential elections.
You've had plenty of chances.
Well, but who would I have voted for? I was going to vote for George W. Bush in 2004. No.
But it doesn't matter. The point is, when you're calling that guy out, you're the same as that guy.
No, I'm not.
Okay, so tell me a Republican you'd vote for.
I think you're missing the picture.
What is it, though?
The point is, he made a claim that he was going to make a vote depending on policy. And when I then said, so if the policy fails, you'll vote for someone else? And he said, no, actually, the policy doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. That's the difference. I'm not making that claim.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a completely different thing.
I mean, the same can be said. To take one example of a story of a person who sounds like an idiot, to say that and then categorize everybody in Trump is selective hearing. To say
that's not what I'm doing.
That's selective for you. Well, you are kind of doing that. You're saying here's a Republican voter who you ask, why are you thinking about voting for Trump? Oh, because he's building the wall. Then you said if he doesn't build the wall, well, I would never vote for a Democrat. Well, do you care if the wall never gets built? No, I don't care. I'm going to vote for him anyways. Well, that doesn't sound like a reasonable voter to me, though.
I don't even think it necessarily sounds like an unreasonable voter. Of course, David Pakman very clearly leaves out a lot of detail in the story, and that's by design, but let's just use the small little details he has put about the voter. The guy says, I'm going to vote for Trump, I want the wall, and then even if he doesn't get the wall, he's going to keep voting for Trump anyways because he won't vote Democrat. I mean, okay, fair enough. What do Democrats support? We want to talk about policy because apparently, according to Pacman, this guy is ignoring policies. I doubt it. I'm sure he's well aware of what Democrats have to offer policy-wise. For instance, this benevolent, just fantastic party supports the chemical castration of children under the guise of gay rights or something. I mean, obviously just a stand-up great crowd, right? How about during the times of the COVID outbreak where they went fully tyrannical, shut down churches? By the way, many Republicans were complicit with this too, and we shouldn't forget that, but the left was obviously worse. Where they shut down churches in violation of the First Amendment, shut down small businesses, all while big box stores like Walmart was open, Amazon was doing just fine. They had more profits probably than they ever did. Yeah, but it's obviously not about the policies. Please, does anyone buy this shtick?
That's right. He's not a reasonable voter.
Well, the reasonable voters to me was also if you were to ask the average person who voted for Biden,
Sure.
they didn't vote for Biden.
Okay.
They voted against Trump.
Okay.
Do you disagree?
I'd have to look at exit polls. Is that true?
So is that where you go to?
Something like
for
that.
For a guy who, if this is your space,
Yeah.
what's your podcast about?
What is it about?
What's your show about?
News and politics?
You should know this stuff. You're the expert. I brought
just
you here.
don't remember that offhand. Let's find it right now.
But this is your world. Like if you ask me questions on business, I'm going to say, let me give you my feedback on what I think about business.
Yeah.
You invite me on your podcast, and hey, Pat, I want to talk about business.
Let's do that.
I have no problem with it to do that part. But what I'm saying to you is, if you're coming here, saying what you're saying,
Sure,
and then I ask you a simple question of, so the same thing can be said about people that voted for Biden. Yeah, I'm going to vote for anybody. Dude, nobody would show up when Biden would speak. Did you not see his tour when he was going campaighing?
Patrick, you're not really doing this, are you? You're doing this?
I'm actually curious where you're going to go now.
Biden wasn't even doing events where, this is the Biden one from the basement.
Right,
I have a counter to this entire, and I want to just be really clear. I don't really care about defending Biden in any particular sense. I just think he was the better option than Trump. I feel like I'm being framed as this Biden lover who's going to defend everything Biden
I'm not
did.
doing that. You may be thinking I'm not doing that to you. What I
want to say about this is,
can you pull up Biden's rallies when he was running for president? Go ahead. Let's see the pictures. But go ahead.
Biden didn't do a campaign the way Trump did it. And the funniest thing to me about
neither has anybody done it like the way Biden's done it. He hid.
But hold the guys.
This was during COVID, though.
Yes. Let's back up for a second.
Look how beautiful that is.
Well,
these are
because
COVID
it's
rallies.
COVID.
Oh, stop
Patrick,
it. You got to be kidding me.
Can I tell you something?
Pat,
this is really
You're
the
telling
height of
me.
COVID.
Because it's COVID. What a ridiculous thing when people say that, well, there was a viral outbreak, so all this crazy behavior is justified. It doesn't even make sense. You look at that picture right there, these people standing, 6 feet apart in their dumb little circles or whatever. Were they doing the same when they were shopping at Walmart or at the grocery store? Of course they weren't. We all know it. You'd see these signs at the grocery stores back in this crazy time that would say, stay 6 feet apart from people at all times. It's like, okay, yeah, so what do I do when I'm getting out my credit card? Do I just chuck it like a ninja star over at the cashier? Of course not. No one was doing that. But we're sitting here playing this delusional game of social distancing. The whole thing just drove me nuts, guys. I mean, you can probably tell by the tone of my voice, but I was not having it during the COVID time. I may or may not have gotten kicked out of many stores for not wearing a certain article of clothing that I can't speak of because I'm afraid YouTube's going to do something to us. Anyways, guys, I digress. That was a truly crazy time, and we should never forget it.
You seem silly when you do this.
Here's what I'm willing to do. What I'm willing to do.
Please.
I'm willing to give him $1 million of my own money right now to go try to fill up an arena.
For what? What's the point?
Oh, no.
To show that nobody is inspired by this guy.
This is so silly.
No, but
what's silly is for you to assume people voted for Biden. They voted against Trump, is what they did.
Many did, yeah, sure.
Yeah, but you just said.
I said I don't know what the percentage is. But all I'm saying is I don't know the percentage.
But it's your world, though. This is like if you're gonna sit here and sell, talk about how bad the Trump voter is, and let me tell you, these people, all they care about is his personality outside of the taxes and all this other stuff. And then I ask you a question, I say, so why do people vote for Biden? Many of them voted him because they just didn't want Trump. Yeah, I don't know the numbers on that. You should know those numbers.
What? I just don't know that offhand. I mean, we can look it up. Why do I need to memorize?
Can I make a quick point?
He doesn't know offhand that people hate sleepy Joe Biden and don't even like him, but just hate Donald Trump a little more, and that's why they'll pick him. But he does know offhand that Republican voters are just a bunch of stupid idiots who never think about policy and are just voting because they hate Democrats. It's very easy to see through this guy and just how disingenuous he really is.
Can I just get? There's just one thing I want to say here.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
This entire Biden hid stuff, it's such a
Hid or hid?
hid
Okay,
in his
yeah.
basement.
Yeah.
Because when you talk about the
He did though. He hid a lot of times, but
Can I get a statement out? Okay. If I were on the right, I would stop saying that because it's embarrassing to Trump that he lost to a guy who hid in his
actually not.
basement.
It's not.
That's the crazy
dude,
thing.
your
I would
president,
stop
your
talking
guy,
about that.
Joe Biden, is the greatest hide and go seek champion of all time. That's
Wait,
who
hold
he
on a
is.
sec. When you is he not? He's not your president.
He's my president.
Oh,
but
okay.
but
He's our president.
But he's your guy. He's the
In
guy
what
you're
sense?
defending. You're defending him right now to say
Only that he's better than Trump because you're making me do this.
the only reason that there's no way even the liberals today are not saying he's better than Trump in executing or taking action or doing anything.
Let's find that. Find that poll. Where's that poll?
Credit. Well, at this point, you've lost credibility to talk about polls because you don't even know what you're talking about when you're saying.
Well,
I don't know. I don't know if the people were voting against Trump. Let's find a poll. So if you can't agree
I said
to that
I don't
part,
know how many. Of course they were.
it's not just
course
how
they
many. It's if you go on look at any of these people who were doing what do you call it? Street when they're going talking to people
Street
and they're doing,
interviews?
yeah, it's like, hey, so tell me, who would you vote here? Trump's the worst. I would never vote for him. People didn't want to vote for this guy
Yeah.
because 99% of the media, everybody was sitting there bashing him nonstop. By the way, same thing's going to happen with DeSantis.
Yeah.
Same thing happened with Bush. The only Republicans Democrats like is ex-presidents who are now painters. That's the only Republicans Democrats like because they're no longer a threat.
Okay.
Trump's a big threat. So for you to say, well, we now have respect around the world,
Yeah.
I don't even know if I want that. I think if there's an element of competition, because I think if China has to choose between Trump or Biden, and China would rather have Biden, that's probably not a good sign for me.
Okay. Is it a good sign if Russia wants Trump? I mean, this is kind of a silly game, right?
No, but Russia is not our number one enemy. Russia doesn't control 80% of chips. Russia is not as powerful as people think they are. They have a lot of nukes. They lead the world. Totally get it. But we're seeing right now what's happening to Russia. Russia is more, they're powerful. You got to put them up there. They're strong. But China is really, really strong and experienced. China hates America. China doesn't, they've publicly announced what they're going to be doing. You know, there's a very big difference between China and Russia. And by the way, I'm not sitting here telling you we got to be best friends with Russia. But if China likes a president over another one, that is a red flag for me.
Yeah, it's not.
Totally. And it's not just China. It's very obvious that people in Europe, particularly Western European countries, countries in the EU and whatnot, generally hate Donald Trump and love Joe Biden. And as it relates to this discussion that PBD and Pinkman were just having, you'll have people constantly whine and complain, oh, Trump, he's making our allies in the West so upset. He's so terrible. We need an adult back in the room like Joe Biden. Yeah, why does he make him upset, though? Well, I can tell you one thing. Donald Trump very emphatically made a point to meet with the NATO leaders during his presidency. And he basically told them, hey, you guys are fleecing the United States. This needs to stop. We shouldn't be paying for everything and covering your ass all the time. Back when he did it, I remember thinking, that's my president. That is awesome. What does Joe Biden do meanwhile? He just bends down, kisses their you-know-what, and continues to look out for the interests of the American foreign policy establishment rather than that of the American people. What a shame.
Not rare as a view on the American right that is generally, who cares what other countries think? I would almost rather they hate us. That's really common.
I didn't say that.
No, I'm not
That's
saying
what you were
did.
saying.
I
I want to see a poll on that. Do you have a poll on that?
Not offhand.
Then
but
how could you say, why, do you have a poll? Give me a poll.
Patrick.
But no, give me a poll because that's an anecdote now.
We can use this
but no,
to stop any conversation.
But you're
hold on a
doing
second.
that. But that's what you're doing,
you
though.
Just did it with the polls about
but
liberals
you're the
no longer
expert.
like
You're the
Biden.
political expert. I'm not.
Oh, come on.
You're
is
the
so
political
silly.
expert. What you just
so
did, no,
silly.
you're being silly. So I'm giving you exactly what you've been doing for the first 30 minutes. Now it officially bothers you.
No, it doesn't bother me. I think it's silly. I think we don't get anywhere.
But wait a minute. But what you're saying is that if the argument you give, I said, show me a poll.
Yeah.
Show it to me. You can't do it.
There's a difference between you
what?
saying that there's a specific opinion among voters that they were motivated by a
Stop.
particular reason. We have polling on that. We just have to find it.
You
We could find it on the screen.
like to use that, but not when it works against you. Yeah, I didn't say hate. I'm not a hate guy. If I was a hate guy, you wouldn't be here today.
I didn't say that.
No, you said most Republicans would prefer if other countries hated us. You're assuming.
I didn't
now.
say most. Run it back.
Wait, you didn't say what?
I didn't say most.
You said
I
what?
said there is a contingent on the right, that actually is emboldened by if they don't
How small of a community is that?
Don't know.
So you're going to take the exception? Are you going to make that argument?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Patrick, I'm verklempt.
Yeah. You and I both.
All right, guys, we're going to cut it off right there because, spoiler alert, Pinkman's insanity has no end, all right? It just keeps going and going and going. But that's okay, guys. It is what it is. I personally enjoyed it and I hope you guys did too. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. As always, guys, be sure to comment below. Let us know what you liked about the clip, what you think about David, whatever, and let us know what you want to see next. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon, and God bless.